Hello everybody, welcome back to Struggles Gaming, or Captain Struggles, whatever I've named it this week. Today we'll be playing Foundation, which is a fantastic city sim game set in medieval times. It's still in alpha, it's rough around the edges. I have a lot of things I'd really like to talk to the developers about. Maybe I could help out with the UI, I don't know. It's still just a really engaging game that I've been playing for many hours already. And I figured they just did another update a couple days ago, so I figured I'd start a new village and maybe do a playthrough of what's new and what's already involved. So I'm going to start out by visiting some of the maps I've already played. I'm just going to load a game. Let's see, let's look at my first village. Let's see how poorly I did. Got some ridiculously tall towers, which is a fun mechanic of the building game. And we'll get into those, but yeah, here's town number 1. The flying around mechanic isn't smooth, and I wish I could scroll out further, but yeah, there's that one. I think this one I got pretty close to using all of the buildings and features. As you can see, I got a vineyard. Oh no, this is a hops farm for beer. Got monastery. It's pretty cool. I really like the bridges. Like it adds an aesthetic to the game that are really nice. Similar deal. I think I tried to spread everything out further on this map. Tried out the stone bridge. Some more churches and cathedrals. This annoying thing. Let's see. I think lastly, I tried out different strategies in each session, and it's still fun. It's just as fun to start over a lot of times. This one's pretty small right now. I was trying to go slowly so I could keep control over the finances and the happiness of the constituents. Lots of berry gathering going on here. But then I decided to bail on this for some reason. This is the one I'm currently kind of working on, trying to balance and get to work. This is a really neat map where you can, you know, build your town and everything on the cliffs, and everything's building up, everything's as dense as it can be. It's kind of fun. If you're into city planning, you look at places like San Francisco, which has can't expand land-wise except inland. But if you just have like a peninsula, you have to figure out ways to get everybody in there and increase density and make the most use out of the land that you have available to you. And this is when I've started paying more attention to the aesthetic of how everything looks, and spending money on fancy stonework, and sort of a very ambitious bridge project here. This will take a very long time to finish, to get over to this side. Not necessary, but fun to do. So yeah, this one's going pretty good. I've kept people happy, but I've not made any money. Not been able to keep money anyways. So with that, let's go ahead and start a new one. Start a new game. Let's do... So far, you see these 5 different kinds of maps, but these are actually just the 5 different maps that are available, which I hope in the future they make some procedurally generated terrain, like in Minecraft or something like that, so you can get different maps. I mean, I've played each of these maps once, I think. You get a nice little intro and tutorial here. It's pretty good. I actually missed it the first time I played and I got really lost. So the first thing to do, time hasn't started. You can control time. I usually just hit the space bar, turn it off and on. The first thing you need to do to start is to pick a piece of land. You get 1 free at the beginning. And you're going to want something, I think... You're going to want berries and stone available, like these actual visual resources, and it helps to have a forest around, because that's also material you're going to need. And I think they've set up these hexagons initially because they have those resources available. And eventually you want to get close to the water because you can begin fishing and selling fish and feeding fish to people. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this hex here. And up here we usually get our marching orders, quest log, things like that. The first thing to do after that is to pick a village center. Now this is going to be a very important piece. Depending on where this goes, because throughout the game, no matter how far out you spread, your villagers are going to have to come back to this point, which means walking all the way back, going back to maybe where they live or work. Don't have a whole lot of choice of where to put it, outside of your initial hexagon, so I don't know. You start planning things the 3rd or 4th time you start a place, and then see if we can look at our citizens here. Pretty spooky. Yeah. But we got our first thing we can build, which is a builder's workshop. And if you hold control, you can rotate it to where you want it. And just putting it anywhere close to your town center for that moment is best. You start off with, up here in the top left, we have 35 wood, 20 tools, and 10 berries. So we can build the first, tutorial level buildings and stuff. And then for each job, you're going to have to manually assign people, which is a fun part of the game. I kind of like that aspect. It's different from SimCity, where it takes care of that stuff for you. You have to manage the happiness of your people, whether they have food, shelter, clothing, that kind of stuff. And that's what makes this game great. So I'm going to go ahead and assign a villager, or 2, or 3. And we're going to get busy. I'm going to push play. Quest completed, build a village center. Build a workshop. We will soon see all of these new buildings available to us. It'll come through. New zone. New quest, build a lumber camp. So here's the quest log here. we want to grab lumber camp. The red circle represents, in the future it'll matter, but it represents the area of effect it has on the desirability of residential spaces. So the one thing you don't do is pick where the people live, other than to set up a zone for it, which is up here. So we have extraction, reforestation, and forbidden land at the moment. And for now, we'll set up the whole place for extraction. So this way you can control whether or not you want trees to stay, if you want people to be able to mine berries and stone, or you want them to not go there. It's one way to control how your town grows. Alright, lumber camp is completed. We'll go ahead and assign 3 villagers. These will change as we move forward and we need more jobs. I'm going to move this up to 3x speed. New quest. Let's see what we got here. Build a lumber camp, assign woodcutters, paint extraction zone. Now we want to produce berries. So we want to make a gathering hut, which will be a workplace where gatherers, or berry gatherers, will gather and collect berries. Which, starting out, is the main food source for your people. Isn't there one more? I guess that's it. Gathering huts completed. Going to assign people, whoever's available. Produced berries. Next quest. Build a granary, assign a transporter, and assign berries to the granary. The granary is the building that will allow you to hold on to food things. Berries, wheat, bread, milk, cheese. Whether or not you're creating it and selling it or buying it from the trading platform, you will need a granary to move food around. And coming up eventually, there will be a warehouse, which is where you'll store things like food, planks, stone, everything else, pretty much. So the two big employment the two big employment things in this game, I would say, are granaries and warehouses, because you need, for each for each industry you go into, you need a warehouse or a granary to store what you produce. So you're gonna need a few of them. And a granary, as you saw when I placed it, didn't have a big red circle, but a warehouse does. So a warehouse will cause some undesirable living locations. So you have to be strategic about where you place it, because you don't want to, build a bunch of noisy things next to where people might want to live. Sort of. I haven't found it to be too important in the previous versions I've played. Should probably help the video part of the game, of the video here. Oops. Yeah, this has gotten cooler in the last patch. There's more animation of the people doing the jobs, and living their lives. And you can click on a person, learn about them, see what they're doing, see if they're happy, if they have everything they need. At this point in the game, the happiness doesn't matter too much. Um, it's just kind of a tutorial to get you started. Let's see here. I guess we need stone. That's why everything stopped. So, yep. So I'm going to take... So we have our stone resource over here. It helps a little bit to put the things next to their resource. As far as I can tell, it doesn't seem to bother people to walk very far too often. I think it comes into play when they have to find a place to live. And then for these guys, because I'm out of people, I'm out of unemployed people. Check out here, we've got a villager list. Everybody is assigned a job. 2 woodcutters, 3 woodcutters. Arrange this. Yeah. 3 woodcutters, and this is, at the moment, all the people I have, so I'm going to have to change some jobs as a new place of employment becomes available, which is what we have here. So a stonecutter camp, builder's workshop, and I think you can just right here, if you right click, it'll make them unemployed, so they're available. So we'll take down 1 builder and 1 woodcutter. We'll add 2 stonecutters, and then we'll start gathering stone, enough to finish building the granary.